Who was Nintendo's Super Mario supposed to be before he was Mario?
Oh, how about this? Move over, Pong.
This is totally useless information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Roy. And we scoured the internet this week with our staff to find out this totally useless information just for you.
Plus, we'll answer your questions in the mailbag section. And we have a very special guest coming up later in the show. Someone who's been underwater for how long? Plus, in the news, some Florida beachgoers had some unexpected encounters with the nudists.
Totally useless information. It's everything you never needed to know.
Step right up here. Step right up, folks. Don't be shy. Move it. Totally useless information with Nick and Roy present Games People Play.
Welcome to the show. Thanks very much for joining us. We are now in 68 different countries. We thank you for joining us. We are really thrilled that you've joined us today. People have told you to go fly a kite because they told you to go fly a kite. Did you ever fly a kite in your childhood?
I did. I have flown many kites.
Do you know where kites came from?
China?
Good start. The kite was said to be the invention of the famous 5th century Chinese philosophers Mozi and Lu Ban.
What did he do? Put the takeout menus together and then...
No. Lu Ban, of course, is the brother who invented sunglasses, Ray-Ban. I don't know, I just made that up. By 549...
That joke should be banned.
By 549 AD, paper kites were being flown, and in the year a paper kite was used as a message for a rescue mission.
Ooh.
Eventually, the kites were made of materials that were really ideal for kites, maybe the ones you've flown. Silk fabric for sail material, fine high tensile strength silk for flying line, and resilient bamboo for a strong, lightweight framework.
Mine was actually made out of metal, and my parents told me to go fly it during a thunderstorm.
They loved you very much.
Yeah. Well, that's how I discovered electricity.
Among other things.
Aaron Rubik invented the Rubik's Cube, and I think we spoke about that on the show. Aaron, but we never really got into the fact. Aaron was an engineer. Oh. And he invented the cube while working on a project to have a cube that could move in multi-directions without collapsing on itself. He ends up coloring the sides so he could keep track and realizes that he can't get it back to the regular position. It takes him 1 month to do it. And after every day working on this, he said, my God, I've invented something that's amazing because I can't stop doing it until I get it. So the man who invented Rubik's Cube took a month to solve it originally. Then he figured out the mathematical equation and so on.
What a square. But what a genius. Wow. That's fantastic. Yes. Did you ever try a Rubik's Cube?
I actually did, yeah.
And
I solved it in a few seconds. And I said, what is so hard about this?
So what did you do? Like you painted the sides?
I took all the colors off, so it was all black.
Right, exactly. Well, look, I got it solved. So here's my teaser. Move over, Pong. In October 1958, a physicist, William Higginbotham, created what is...
He's from Deutschland. Deutschland. Go ahead.
Yes, it's obligatory that every time we mention a German name, the German national anthem gets played somehow. I don't know where it comes from. I'm not playing that audio. William Higginbotham created what is thought to be the first video game. It was a very simple tennis game similar to the classic 1970s video game Pong, but it was quite a hit at a Brookhaven National Laboratory open house. So October 1958 is when they believe the very first video game was created. William Higginbotham.
There's a movie out about that where the idea was stolen, and he invented it, and then somebody stole the idea, I guess, for Atari and so on. They end up having to pay him years and years later. They end up having to pay him for the rights to it. Nintendo made Mario by accident. This was my tease.
Oh,
Mario was not supposed to be Mario. In fact, it was supposed to be the Popeye game.
like Popeye the cartoon?
Popeye the Sailor Man. Yes. I guess he was supposed to jump around and get spinach and get stronger.
Okay.
If you think about it, the original character is very much like Bluto, who is the nemesis of Popeye.
Right.
But they must have had some problem with rights and so on and so forth. So they invented the original Donkey Kong game with a Bluto figure and a man called Jumpman, who would eventually be named Mario, and then, of course, get a brother named Luigi, who was not as popular as Mario, which happens a lot in families.
Right. He was the forgotten son.
Yeah. So anyway, that's why Luigi is always wearing Mario's pants that he wore, and then he gets them.
Yeah, that's right. He wore his overalls.
But it's an accident, and he was never called Mario.
He was called Jumpman. Wow. Okay.
But
cool.
he was supposed to be Popeye, though.
How about Birdie the Brain? Birdie the Brain was a computer game of tic-tac-toe, and it was built by Dr. Joseph Cates for the 1950 Canadian National Exhibition. Now, I'm up in Toronto, Canada, and Roy's in Fort Myers, Florida. And in Toronto, for many, many years, there was the Canadian National Exhibition. It runs the last 2 weeks of August leading into Labor Day. Think of it as like a state fair is really the best way. So anyway, Dr. Joseph Cates from 1950 went to the Canadian National Exhibition. It was one of the first games developed in the early history of video games. It stood 4 meters or 13 feet tall.
Wow.
And the computer allowed exhibition attendees to play a game of tic-tac-toe against what was then considered artificial intelligence. Now,
wow.
as an aside here, we're talking about artificial intelligence. Everyone's talking about the ChatGPT and artificial intelligence. We are declaring here at this point in time, at Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy, that we are 100% artificially intelligent free. And Roy and I prove that every single week.
Yeah, I was going to say I can show everyone artificial intelligence is when Nick thinks he's smart.
Somebody told me that. I forget who.
And that was not nice because even though you insulted me, you included yourself. So that was very nice.
Well,
thank you, Nick.
Well, we are best friends after all. I like to share.
I know. It seems now, get ready for this one. I love this one. They took some doctors that did laparoscopic surgery, which is microsurgery where they make a little pinhole and they stick in a device. And the doctors have to use the camera, and then they encapsulate maybe some tumors and take them out.
Okay.
Well, they found that doctors that extensively played video games were 30% less likely to create medical errors during the procedures.
Oh, interesting.
Because they were so much better using a joystick and using a game-type console. They also found that they did the operations 27% faster than the other doctors. So not only were they better at it, they were faster at it. That's amazing.
It is. And of course, the two doctors' names was Dr. Luigi and Dr. Mario. Where's my joystick? You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. We are really excited. Wait till you find out our next guest in our science section. But let me tell you first, before we get to our special guest, go to nickandroy.com. Check out our brand new Nick and Roy store. There you'll find all kinds of things for you to send to other people, like our anniversary messages and birthday messages.
Yeah, the birthday messages, guys. Nick and I really are working day and night getting these messages, birthday messages out. I'm not joking. We're doing lots of them now, but they're so great. Go on nickandroy.com, click on birthday messages. You can play a sample and you're going to see how great this is as a gift. You know, it is the one of the best gifts that you can buy somebody, and it fits for people that you say, oh, they have everything. Well, they don't have this, and they're gonna freak out.
Go to nickandroy.com, click on the Nick and Roy store to find out.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times, or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months, or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
Tell them who's coming up.
We have, well, let's get right into it.
Einstein was a moron. Newton was a jerk. E equals nothing in science, science, science.
So thank you for joining us, and we are really pleased today to have a very special guest. Now, Roy, usually I tell the audience that we clean up the studio when we have special guests, to which you say, why?
I guess you could say we hose down the studio.
We absolutely did. And the reason why we hose down the studio is because our very next guest has been living underwater, as at the time of this recording, has been living underwater.
Wait a minute,
What?
Nick. There's something fishy about this.
Hold on now. So he's been living underwater for 21 days. His goal is to make it to 100 days, which will actually hopefully be a Guinness World Record. So maybe we'll check in with him at that point, So we don't want to be schooled today on this show.
School.
Yeah,
Very funny, Nick.
Exactly, yes. So after 28 years of service in the U.S. Navy, he's now retired, but he decided, you know what, retirement is just for old people. So let's do this. Let's go underwater. He calls himself Dr. Deep Sea, and it's because he's currently on the quest to live underwater, like I said, for 100 days. He's an associate professor at the University of South Florida and is looking to break the Guinness World Record. Now, we have asked him to come online, and we asked, well, does he have Wi-Fi? Well, of course he has Wi-Fi. We found him 22 feet below the surface of Key Largo Lagoon. Welcome, Dr. Joe Dituri.
Hey, how are you guys? Thanks for having us.
It's great.
That's wild. I'm telling you. First off, we get some great guests on this show. We had a guy that hasn't worn shoes in like 20 years. He literally is barefoot for 20 years. Goes into restaurants, and it's crazy. But never had we had somebody in the process of breaking a world record. But not only that, underwater, you're there 21 days already.
Yep.
And this is amazing. So tell us why.
Yes, why? That was my first question. Why?
The why. Okay, the why is a bit long, but the Reader's Digest condensed version is that my entire life has kind of pointed me down this road. I did 28 years in the Navy, as you said, and when I retired from that, I got a call from James Cameron, the filmmaker, saying, hey, come out. I want you to look at my submersible out here in California. I just did this dive, and I want to loan it to Woods Hole Oceanographic, and you're an expert submersible guy, because that's kind of what I did in the military. And, hey, I want you to check out the evaluation of it. Okay, no problem. So I go there.
Hold on, excuse me 1 second for interrupting.
Yeah, I know.
So
I know.
James
Forget
Cameron,
about it.
the Titanic guy, the Avatar guy, he called you up and said, could you help me with
people called me. Don't get me wrong. I'm not friends with this guy or anything.
Oh,
but,
come on. Yes, you are. Come on. You know him.
Yeah.
Do you know him?
But you know James Cameron.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the same way I feel. I once touched Heidi Klum's shoulder, and I tell everybody I touched Heidi Klum.
Yeah,
until the same thing.
Until the restraining order kicked in. Right, of course. so on. Sorry to interrupt. So you helped him out with this, and then what happened?
So I go to his house, right? And it's all the way in the back in California. It's on this private piece of land that's huge far in the back.
It's above water, though.
The captain of the fire brigade. It's above water, right?
Okay. All right.
So I go back there, and I'm walking his dog on the beach, and I'm talking with the guys, and we're just kind of like, okay, what do we want to do with this? And they wanted me to write a report. Okay, so they gave me all the data, all the information. I looked at the submersible. I climbed in and out of it, yada, yada, yada. And I look, and I take all that information, and I go home, and I start to write the report. And I see that he had collected a sea lice, and sea lice are usually teeny tiny, like just the little size of your pinky nail, right? And they just bother you underwater, and they make you itch. He collected one that was about 14 inches long. All right. It's albino. He pulls it up, brings it to the surface. We pull the DNA sample off it. It's a partial cure for Alzheimer's.
What?
Yeah, I know. I was like, all right, forget about
Wow.
it. I said at that point, it was December 24th of 2012. And I said, everything we need is in the ocean, or everything we need is on this planet. Yin,
Right.
yang, black, white, disease, cure. It's here. So this is an entire ecosystem. It makes sense that it's here. So I said, if you're going to find what you need to find, you got to look where you haven't looked before. And where are you going to look? Well, let's look at the
Right
damn
there,
ocean.
underwater. Right? Sure. Why not? Nobody's looking there.
So 10 years ago, when that all came to play, I said, okay, it's time. We got to live underwater. Because look, man, I grew up in Long Island, New York. I moved here from Italy, right? We get there from Italy, we move into a new house, and I didn't even know that around the corner, just like diametrically opposed on the corner, I was on the corner of 5th and 2nd. He was on the corner of 6th and 3rd. And his name was Brian. Turned out to be my best friend. But it took me several months to find him because he was all the way around the corner. I couldn't look that far. I wasn't allowed off the block, da-da-da-da-da. Long story short, if you live in a place, you will find all the cool things. Like I said, I got a lobster friend right down here named Fred. He just molted. And I literally watched him molt, shed his shell. There's a lobster family across the street. I call them the Partridge family. Why? Yeah, on account of because.
Yeah,
I like
because
the Partridge
you think they
family.
love you. You think they love you. That's why. Yeah. All right. So you're right.
No,
because-
but I'll tell you.
Yeah.
What do you drink now? Now, how are you getting? How is he getting food and water?
So I get food delivered down to me on a regular basis because there's no storage room down here, right?
So
Everything that I have is frozen.
Grubhub comes down. Grubhub.
Grubhub. Yeah, no. No, man, I eat very cleanly. I'm 6'1", 220 pounds. I'm a big guy, but I work out a lot, and I don't eat crud, right? So I don't eat pizza, for instance.
I was
And that's
okay.
like
See,
when
that was
people
my
come
question.
down here-
Do you have a pizza delivered? There was okay. So you answered that question. Thank you.
Yeah, no, not my scam. But you got to cook everything. For instance, you're down in a pressure, and when you're down at pressure, you increase the partial pressure of oxygen. So that means it feels like there's more oxygen down here, which lowers the ignition point of everything. So you
Ooh.
can't cook down here.
Right.
So you can use a microwave, and that's the only heat-producing device that you can have. Everything else has to be LED, low electrode. You can't have devices plugged in. It's a big deal, right? I don't want to go on fire. That's a bad thing.
No.
So here we are doing this, and I'm able to cook down here, but only in a microwave. So like I make a mean poached salmon, guys. I make a mean poached salmon. It's really good stuff.
Well, don't you get sick of seafood? Because with all the time that you spent under there, like, are you just
Don't you feel bad eating them? Like you look at them for a while and then you grab a lobster and throw them in the microwave.
You can't. The beautiful thing is we're in a marine sanctuary, and those friggin' lobsters know it, right? Like the lobsters walk with reckless abandon. They're like,
They know. They know they're protected, right?
Totally. So
It's
I don't
the same
eat
way
those,
Heidi
but-
Klum walks around since the Order of Protection.
right? Yeah, exactly. Now, okay, so you microwave some stuff. Have you brought any fresh fruit?
Yeah. Interestingly enough, I brought fresh fruit down.
Yeah.
I brought bananas down.
Bananas,
And
okay.
when we brought the bananas down, one of the bananas was a little bit overripe, and the bottom of it, because it's a sealed case, unlike oranges, which are porous, apples, which are porous, the banana exploded.
Oh,
It was
Wow.
freaking hilarious. Yeah,
From the pressure.
because the pressure, it's like 1.65 times the pressure that you're at right now. So basically, it just went. It's kind of cool. I put it on my YouTube channel.
What's the constant temperature?
Right now it's 75, but I have an air conditioner, and the air conditioner's purpose is to dehumidify this place because I live underwater and I'm in a
Right.
Yeah.
100%
humid environment. I mean, look at my hair. It's all jacked up every day.
what?
Yeah, I was going to say something, but
Yeah, because I'm here and I'm follically challenged. Thanks for sparing my feelings. So you're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Ray with our very special guest, Dr. Joe Dituri. He is 22 feet below the surface of Key Largo in a tank. Now, this is not just any ordinary tank or a pod. Is this like a hotel or something? Can other people come down and book a space?
Absolutely. You can book a stay down here, and anybody can. Anybody can come live down here. Now, let me just tell you, this is not this is not the Marriott, right? This is
So hold on.
the biggest.
Yeah, you're telling us to dive? Is that what you're telling us?
You
No,
guys are
Nick.
funny, man. You're killing.
Nick, you shouldn't have gone there, okay? This man is doing this. He has a purpose.
That's right.
You guys, I tell you, it's like the Nick.
Well, it's totally useless information with Nick and Roy. Now you know why they insisted on this title of this show. We had other ideas, but they said this is the name of the show and this is why. So, okay, so you can book time. So you can go online and just like almost like instead of an Airbnb, it's like an underwater B&B, I guess.
100%. So
Okay.
you can come, you can stay, but the beds are basically twin sizes. The biggest bed.
Are they water beds? I had
They
to
are
go
not
there.
water
Okay.
beds. 20,000 out of work comedians, and this guy's trying to be funny. Tell him.
Well, the key word there is trying.
Yeah. Gee,
So
thanks
the
for
top bunk is
Yeah.
only about as wide as my shoulders. Thank God
Okay.
I'm the big guy and I never sleep in the top bunk, right?
Okay.
So I mean, it is not someplace where you can hang. But
Are you there by
But
yourself?
Heidi's really skinny, Heidi Klum, so I could bring her down there.
Yeah, sure.
Now,
you
I
can.
got it.
speaking of which,
I got a legitimate question. So you are also obtaining data while you're down there for scientific purposes, correct?
100%, and that's really what it's about. The 100 days, I could care less. The record's 73 days, 2 hours, and whatever. As a matter of fact, there's the world record.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, but that's not what this is about. This is literally about the scientific nature of the mission. I want to collect data on what happens to the human when they live underwater, under pressure for a long period of time. Because look, we are going to space, right? That's the "Where the hell is Hanksville" T-shirt, right? Hanksville is Mars Desert Research Station, and I was there on mission 192, and we're talking about going to Mars. Our closest home and transfer window right now is 6 months. That's the closest. So I'm looking at being down here just over 3 months. So we haven't figured out the isolated, confined, extreme environment stuff yet. We haven't figured what your focal point changes when you only have a 15-foot visual acuity, right? There's so many things that have to be worked out. What happens to people when they're sort of isolated in this environment, right? You can lock out and go out and clean the window, which I do pretty regularly, but that's about it. You got nowhere to go. You got nothing to do. You can't go to.
Yeah, I think I would kill Nick after 100 days. I'd probably
100
kill
How
him.
about 100 hours? So what do you do for entertainment?
And if it's something we don't want to know, please don't tell us.
Right, yeah.
Oh no, but if you want to know something like that, I got information for you. But that's beside the point. All in the name of science, right?
Okay, I know. Yeah, I agree with you. I most
Yeah.
of my high school days were mostly about science. It was
Yeah, biology and a lot of hands-on experience.
yes, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, what do I do for entertainment? I made them take the TV out of my room. I'm a scientist. I read articles. I literally work until about 7:30 every night. I get up at about 5:30, 6 o'clock every morning.
Okay.
I work till about 7:30 every night. I'm doing EEGs, EKGs, pulmonary function tests, some transcutaneous oxygen monitoring, ear studies, ear visualization. There's so much science going on
Okay.
here.
So
And then
the oxygen that you're breathing in is under some sort of decompression, like a respirator, correct?
No, it's pressurized, right? So Boyle's
Okay.
law says that we pressurize it more. So it makes it feel like you're breathing 1 molecule of gas. I'm breathing about 1.5 molecules of gas. So it's a little
Show
harder
off.
to breathe. My
Show
voice
off.
is a little higher. If you hear me, like I actually sound like a man instead of like a little girl right now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, that is so cool.
It
is. Now, what do you do with your waste, so to speak?
So great question. It has to be macerated, right? Everything has to be macerated, and it's a typical toilet like you have in the back of an RB.
Right.
It has to be chopped up real fine and then pumped out, and that's what we do. We chop it up real fine and we pump it out. That's what I do on a regular. That's my job.
Into the lagoon?
My house.
You pump it out into the lagoon?
No, come on.
Okay, I was going to say, don't swim there then. Like, come on.
Don't
No.
swim there. Forget about it. You get an
No.
ear infection for
That
sure.
lobster would put his shell back on and move real quick.
That's right. I'm going back to Long Island. The heck with this
No,
thing.
no.
Go back to Maine. So, okay. So you told us about what entertainment. How do you sleep at night? Like, do you sleep well? Like, do you have any nightmares? Like,
Usually, he probably does it lying down. Nick, I would assume.
how do you sleep lying down? But do you sleep well? Like, are the sounds like? Do you have to block out any of the sounds around you, the ocean sounds? Or some people use ocean sounds to fall asleep. Does that help you fall asleep when you can't sleep one night?
Yeah, there's no ocean sounds technically down here, but what I hear is a lot of bubbling because we constantly flow the air into the habitat and it flows out the bottom.
I have to ask you this personal question. Okay, so you said you can have visitors. So let's say someone comes to visit. What would the relations be like underwater?
What would the relations be like?
Yeah, like, when you're having
He's
relations.
talking about sex. That's all he thinks about because he doesn't get any.
Come on. I'm married 22 plus years. What do you want?
What do you want from me? I'm 39.
So
We
we can
forgot
talk
what
about
sex
that if
is.
you want.
Okay, now, and I asked this, okay, not to be silly, but from honest to goodness, from a scientific point of view, because you're talking about different pressures and whatnot. Okay, I'll put it to you this way. I'll put it to you cleanly. Is the experience different underwater than it would be
Nick's
above
trying
water?
to say, how the hell is it to have sex?
So let's talk about it from a scientific standpoint.
Okay,
I'm at about
Yes.
1.65 times the pressure that you're at,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
So when I urinate and if I ejaculate, I'm ejaculating and urinating against the static head pressure, right?
Okay.
There's a whole bunch more pressure down here, 1.5
Yeah.
times more than what you're under. So ejaculate doesn't come out very far. I suspect, as a scientist, it would be difficult impregnating somebody while underwater because the ejaculate won't come out. The urine is difficult to come out. And interestingly enough, we're finding that we urinate more with greater urgency and with greater frequency, a larger amount with greater urgency and greater frequency
Yeah.
while you're underwater.
Yeah, at our age.
Underwater, but it takes longer, you're saying.
It takes so like basically I will urinate longer while I'm in here.
Yeah.
I mean that's what we've seen so far. Remember, we don't have a lot of numbers here doing this, right? Because there's one researcher.
That's right.
Yeah,
And
but see, this Nick, you see what scientists do? They play with the numbers.
Roy and I, at our age, can totally relate about urine that takes so long to come out and it takes so long. We totally can relate to that. 100%.
Well, maybe you can, Nick.
I'm your
knowing George
age for
Washington.
crying out loud. You
Never-
guys are my age.
Look, listen, Roy
I know.
I have to say this. Roy, every time on the show, like we'll do one of our topics is history, and I'll say in 1857, and Roy right away would interrupt me and ask me, what was that like in 1857? I have to tell you, Joe, that he's 2 months older than I am, and he took the picture.
Okay, so you got electric, you've got water, you've got toilet facilities so you can dispose of your waste.
Yeah.
So you get food. So basically, you're just hanging out and getting paid for it.
Well, okay, so let's just be clear. Nobody's paying me to do this.
Well, that was
'cause
my
I'm a
next question,
researcher.
actually. Is there
Oh,
any
now
funding?
you are
Actually
the man.
paying
So he's the man, okay? Because he's doing it strictly for science. That needs to be commended. Honestly, all joking
Yes.
aside, that needs to be
That's
commended.
because I was going to ask you, is there any funding behind all of this? But you're doing it truly and sincerely for the sake of science.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like
that's the bottom line. There is a nonprofit corporation named Marine Lab who is above water here,
Okay.
and they bring kids down out here, and they high-five me in the window. They teach kids about the ocean, the marine environment, marine science, what the difference between a mollusk and a crustacean is.
Sure.
So we do a lot of interaction with kids. So that's about 2 to 3 outreaches a day with little kids, 6th, 7th, 8th, 10th, even high school and college age. So we do a lot of interaction. And Marine Lab has sponsored this, but this is on Marine Lab premises. And then a business that I own called the International Board of Undersea Medicine sponsored the other portion of it. And basically I'm sponsoring my own research because I want to find out what's going on. I mean, really.
And we thank you for that.
Now,
Because
USF, what does USF have to do with it?
So I'm an assistant professor of medicine at the University of South Florida Medical School. I'm an associate professor of medical engineering at the medical engineering school. But, you know, so all I teach there. That's it. So I teach at the school.
My son almost went there. My son almost played football for the Bulls. So.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he was up there. They were watching him and so on. He ended up going to UF, and then USF. He went to FSU Law School. So. Yeah.
Oh wow!
They're
Very
all rivalries. Cool. They're all rivalries. Now, Nick, you were saying that about the noise. Does he fall asleep with the noise? Like people have machines that play sounds so that you could sleep.
Ocean sound.
Being that Nick and I are from the Bronx, we have these sound machines that have gunshots and screams, and it makes us feel comfortable so we can sleep at night.
Yeah, the machine guns is what they are. Yeah. Yeah, we lived in a tough neighborhood, and we went to a tough restaurant in a tough neighborhood. As Rodney Dangerfield often said, on the menu was broken-legged lamb. Big fans of Rodney.
Oh, don't egg him on.
Hey, come on. You guys grew up in the only borough in New York that starts with a D.
Yeah, I know.
Bronx.
The Bronx.
The Bronx.
Great point.
But
okay.
Anyway, I tell you, I am amazed that, number one, now, so what are you seeing, like, mostly from your window? Because as we're watching you, there are fish going by, which I assume is a daily occurrence.
They have a cameo appearance on our show.
Fish, scuba divers, people come here. The kids will snorkel down, try and high-five the window, you know.
Any manatees, bottlenose, dolphins, stuff like that?
Nothing like that. I've seen a couple of fish, barracuda. There's a whole bunch of little fish.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm over here. I'm in of course the Gulf of Mexico, but man, we go out on the boat and the dolphins are all over the place. The manatees are all over the place. So
manatee hasn't flown by this window, but I considered it a sign when I went in the water. There were two manatees that kind of greeted me, and I'm hoping that those two are there when I get back. You guys know the whole story about manatees and sailors. You know I'm a sailor, right?
There is a rule on the books in Florida, apparently, a law that says that if you have sex with a manatee, which I can't see, you'd have to be real drunk.
Yeah.
Or you have to have been at sea for a long period of time.
Yes.
All right. That's where we thought mermaids came from.
Yes.
That we'd see a manatee and we'd mistake it for a woman.
Yeah, we don't have clubs up here.
The girls in Florida are beautiful, Nick.
Yeah, they are
You're
here.
You're coming down here. You'll see them.
I'll be down in the middle of May. So 100 days. So when it would be your last day?
June 9th.
June 9th.
June 9th.
So maybe what we can do is, so I'm going to be down in the middle of May. So perhaps as you get closer to your 100-day goal, maybe we can catch up with you and find out how things are going at that point in your experiment.
I would love that.
Yeah, that would be awesome because I've had a great time and we have other useless information to provide the audience. But this has been an absolute treat to talk to someone who I've seen all over YouTube and everything else. I'm like, I wanted because it's a fascinating thing that you're doing. Number one, number two, you're a cool guy. Number three, you're from the Bronx. How could you go wrong?
Yeah. I'm from Long Island. Forget about it.
Are you doing a Facebook? Are you doing a Facebook thing, or are people?
Yeah, so Dr. Deep Sea on Instagram and YouTube and Twitter, and then my Facebook is just Joe DiTore. But just look up the 100-Day Undersea Mission, and you'll see it. There's a bunch of stuff out there. Like I said, we've been doing microbiology, biomedical engineering, all kinds of cool science stuff. Like I said, it's not about the 100 days. It's about the science that we're doing and the outreach to the kids.
Joe, thank you very much for your time. You've been really generous with your time. We really do appreciate it. Thank you for what you're doing for science. And I'm really fascinated to hear about what you found with James Cameron, that what you call a sea lice. Is that what you call it? Sea lice? And how maybe the next time we have you on, you can talk to us about how you discovered that the sea lice could lead to a lot of advancements in helping out people with Alzheimer's.
Can do.
Yeah. Both Nick and I have family members that passed that had Alzheimer's. Both of our moms.
Yeah.
Both of our moms had it. Yeah.
So, Dr. Joe, thank you very, very much for your time, and we're looking forward to catching up with you, and good luck with everything.
Thank you, guys. Have a
Yeah,
blessed
man,
day.
it was really a pleasure to talk to you.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times, or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months, or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
Wall Street, Bay Street, NASDAQ, Hang Seng, loonies, toonies, dollars, and yens. This is On the Money with Nick and Roy.
Boy, that was cool, wasn't it? He was just a fantastic guy. I think so far, of all the great guests we've had, and they've all been great, so far he's my favorite.
Yeah, that was cool. When he started showing us around, and if you're listening to the podcast, he actually showed us around the inside of this room, this encased metal room that he's staying in, and you can listen to it. He describes everything as he's showing it, so it's really good. But as we were talking to him, the fish are swimming around the back, and you can see through the window. It really is cool.
Okay, we're talking about money here. We're talking about being peppered. In 2009, ATMs in South Africa were outfitted with pepper spray. It prevented tampering. If a camera on the machine detects someone trying to tamper with a card slot, because what they do is they try to install a skimming device or explosives to steal the money. A mechanism installed at the ATM, it releases a cloud spray, a pepper spray. The hope is that the spray will disorient the culprit long enough to allow the authorities to arrive at the scene because they're notified. But during the routine maintenance on one of the machines, 3 workers were maced while they were
repairing or filling the machines, right?
And they were maced and they had to be treated.
Yeah, treated like idiots.
Yeah. Absolutely.
After World War I, Germany experienced what's called hyperinflation. Now, you'll notice I said the word Germany, so Deutschland.
Thank you.
Okay. But they experienced hyperinflation at a level that the world had never seen before. Their mark, or their dollar, went down to almost zero.
Oh.
So literally, it was worthless. So what to do with your money? Well, there are stories of people putting paste on it and using it as wallpaper on the walls.
What?
But mostly they gave it to kids to play with because it was useless. And some people actually used it as toilet paper.
Really?
Wow. That is crazy.
So what do they call it? Hyperdollar?
No, hyperinflation.
Hyperinflation.
It's pretty much what's going on now.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's pretty much what's going on. Look, all you got to do, Nick, is look at a picture of yourself from high school and look at a picture of yourself now, and there's hyperinflation.
Right. That's overinflation.
And I'm right there with you.
Exactly. So now you said Germany. Now Germany is one of the nations.
Deutschland.
Thank you.
Okay.
They're one of the countries in the European Union that use the currency known as the euro.
Yes.
The name of the European currency, euro, was suggested to the European Council by a German.
Deutschland. Okay.
Okay, you missed the cue. By a German delegation led by Germany's then Minister of Finance, Theo Wiegel. A total of 18.
Oh, yeah.
You know Theo Wiegel, don't you?
Yeah, sure.
Wiegels wobble, but they don't fall down.
Yeah,
a total of 18 animals, by the way, are depicted on all euro coins, and the euro is accepted in 20 countries, including Germany.
Take a U.S. $100 bill.
Okay.
And put it up in the air,
Okay.
and you'll see that there's a blue ribbon strip going through the bill.
Is that a security thing?
Yes, but when you look at the strip, you'll notice it has like a reflection to it. If you put glasses on, like we have to do now, Nick.
That's right.
And you look at it very closely, you'll find that it's the Liberty Bell dancing.
Oh.
But really what it is supposed to be the Liberty Bell ringing, moving. How crazy is that? The ribbon has hundreds of tiny micro lenses built into the ribbon that give it the effect of movement. There's also magnetic properties in the ink. There's so many things going on with the bills themselves. I know you guys up there, you have actually plastic in your money.
That's right. Yeah. They last longer.
Crazy. Wild. Yeah.
Yeah, we can
So
actually.
if you want to watch the Liberty Bell ring, you just get $100 bill. In fact, Nick and I would like to watch it. So please send your $100
No, you don't do
bills
that.
to Nick
No,
and-
don't. No, don't. You can go to nickandroy.com and check out all the latest episodes, all of the full library of episodes. You can go to nickandroy.com, go to Nick and Roy store, like we said, you can order your anniversary or birthday messages. You can go to nickandroy.com and order a 1-year supply of our newsletter. You can go to nickandroy.com to check out all kinds of neat stuff, but don't send us money. Don't do that. I know that in the restaurant that we worked at, that your dad owned, I think we took Diners Club credit card, did we not?
Yes.
If I remember correctly.
Yes.
Okay, so the idea for Diners Club was conceived at the Major's Cabin Grill restaurant in New York City in 1949. Diners Club co-founder Frank McNamara was dining with clients and realized he left his wallet in another suit. Likely story. His wife paid the tab, and McNamara thought of a multi-purpose charge card as a way to avoid similar embarrassments in the future. So he and a partner, Ralph Schneider, launched the first Diners Club card, widely considered to be the birth of the modern charge card.
Wow. Yeah, we did. We took Diners Club, and back then they sent you this. It was made like newspaper, and it was all the cards that were bad. So when you got a Diners card, you matched the number up with the thing. It was not It was not a good functioning card.
Right.
But if the number didn't appear there, you knew it was a card that you could take. Can you imagine? It's wild.
Interesting stuff.
When the dollar bill, the U.S. $1 bill was created, the government wanted to pay homage to the 13 colonies of the original United States.
Mm-hmm.
So get ready for this. There are 13 different representations of the number 13.
Oh.
There are 13 steps on the pyramid with the eye on top.
Yes.
There are 13 bars on the shield. There are 13 stripes at the top of the shield. There are 13 stars above the eagle. There are 13 leaves and berries on the olive branch in the eagle's talon. And in the other talon, there are 13 arrows. There are 13 stars above the seal of the treasury. So 13 is all over the dollar bill.
I would imagine it's because of the 13 original colonies.
That's exactly what it was. They wanted to pay homage to. Had you really honestly been listening to what I was saying, I said that before.
You did. That's what I meant. Because I remember you said that it was paying homage.
Narcolepsy strikes again.
You know what okay, I'll be honest with you. I was drifting, not because you always bring in interesting stuff, but I couldn't get over the interview we had with Dr. Daturi. Like the fact that he was conducting all these experiments and that he found sea lice that could very well be a huge improvement in Alzheimer's research. It just blew my mind. So I apologize.
I still think there was something fishy about that interview, Nick.
Right.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times, or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months, or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
I wonder if his middle name was Finn. You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. nickandroy.com. Of all the other things we told you that you can do there, how about sending us an email?
What's in the mailbag? What's in the mail?
Well, I'll tell you what's in the mail.
Yeah.
So I went through the mailbag this week and I found Hussein from Dubai.
Oh.
I mean, we are all over the place, and that was intriguing to begin with to find that. So he says, listening to your show is like a college course. I have learned more than I did at university. Thank you. He says, thank you. And I love this part. He says, do I win underwear?
Well, that contest was done. Nice try. Nice try.
Yeah.
Too late.
I was going to say he was speaking in reference to the man-made brand underwear that Nick and I, each week for 4 weeks, we were some lucky person was winning them. And so, so he was talking about that.
Yeah. Sorry, too late, but you were thinking to buy. I mean, they really are cool. These boxers.
Yeah, well, he was looking to do free, not do buy.
Yeah, well. Marie from Toronto, Canada, my stomping grounds here.
Yay.
Marie from Toronto, Canada. Dear Nick and Roy, we love listening to your show, both on my smart speaker and on the radio. Of course, we're on in Toronto. News Talk 1010 is part of the iHeart Radio Talk network all across Canada, coast to coast to coast. But yes, if you go to your smart speaker and tell them to play the latest episode of Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy, you'll hear the latest episode. Yeah, so imagine you can listen to useless information on your smart speaker. So thank you very much, Marie. I don't know how you guys do it. You know what, Marie? Neither do we. Every week you come on the show, you make it sound so easy. I couldn't do what you do, she writes. I would really get nervous and get butterflies in my stomach. It had me asking the question and then thinking, what causes butterflies in your stomach? What a great question, Marie. Thank you very much. And we do make it look easy, but we do spend a lot of time researching our information. And like we said, we have a staff that helps us out as well. But what we do is we do it because we enjoy what we do. There are no butterflies.
I was just talking to someone, and they do a podcast, and they were amazed at the fact that we do our podcast the way we do. We start and we just keep going, and it's all live to us. It's all natural responses. We don't write jokes. We just write down the items that we're going to discuss, and we just do it in this binary type fashion so that we get an actual response from each other. And people don't believe it. They're like, no, really? I mean, you guys don't.
It's not scripted. I mean, the only script, if you will, is the information that we gather, the useless information. But Roy and I don't write the jokes. You're supposed to laugh here now, Roy. Laugh here.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, what jokes?
Okay, fine. Yeah, we're the joke.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times. Or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months. Or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
So, okay, going back to the butterflies in your stomach. The fluttery feeling, Marie, can be nervous or excited, but these feelings in the brain are reportedly interpreted as stress and activate your fight or flight adrenaline, which then increases blood flow to the heart, lungs, and muscles. That decreases the blood flow to the gut, which gives you a slightly nauseous and butterfly sensation. So it's the blood going away from your gut because your body's thinking, fight or flight, quick.
It rushes to your muscles, so to speak.
And hearts, lungs, and muscles, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Marie. So on the show today, we talked about games, we talked about money, we talked to Dr. Deep Sea Joe Deturi with the science section. And
it was cool.
It was really, really cool. It's time for the news.
And now, from around the corner and around the world, this is TUI News.
Some Florida beachgoers
here we go.
had come across some unexpected encounters with nudists.
Where?
Where
exactly? Give me the GPS coordinates.
Well,
I'll have a look at this.
This'll help you. Sections of the Canaveral National Seashore were damaged by the 2022 hurricanes, and some signs marking the areas of nude sunbathing were washed away in the storms at
Like their bathing suits.
Like, right. The signs of the bathing suits. At the Playa Linda Beach.
Yes.
Or Play with Linda. I'm not quite
I was just going to say they're playing with Linda.
They had some families venturing onto stretches
It's
of
the
beach.
most fun place to watch volleyball on the planet.
That's right. So the nude sunbathing were washed away. Okay, these signs were washed away at the Playa Linda Beach. They had some families venturing onto stretches of the beach they normally would not go to, right? Because they're figuring, So one lady said, "There's a big fat guy there laying they're like this," and she was showing the people how the guy was laying down. I don't want to see that kind of stuff. It was uncomfortable.
I promise I will not do it again.
She told TV station Fox 35 that she had to cover her eyes. Sections of the Canaveral National Seashore, again, were damaged by the hurricanes, and so they didn't get a chance, I guess, to put
Nick,
up
can
the
I
signs.
please stop you?
Yes.
You're coming down here in a few weeks.
Yes.
Okay? We have nude beaches here as well.
Well, okay. Well, I'll tell you.
They put up a flag. I guess you could say they erect a flag.
Yes, they do. They really do. So now, according to officials, there's no federal law. So you're telling me that? So never mind. You're not going to take me to like the coolest clubs.
First off, if we go to Miami South Beach, there's plenty of women with no tops on. Go ahead.
So
Yes,
according
please.
to officials, there's no federal law addressing nudity on the beach since it's a national park. So you can do whatever you want. But according to the Brevard Sheriff's Office, parts of the beach are on state property where it's illegal to go nude.
What? In Brevard County?
Yeah, I hope that doesn't shock you. But in parts
No. I'm just wondering.
it-
Brevard County, you're not allowed to go naked on the beach.
because it's state property and that's illegal to go nude.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating because there was no sign. I guess it wasn't a good sign. There was no warning for us to know that what we were about to experience. To make matters worse, she said 2 men were seen committing lewd acts. And there were children nearby.
They could have just been building a sandcastle. How do we know?
But apparently the men stopped before rangers arrived, so no arrests were made.
Oh, my God. So these 2 guys were frolicking.
No, they were committing lewd acts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, over by me, Nick, we have a nude beach here, and they erect a sign, a flag, when the nudies are there.
Yeah.
And there are signs that say, "Cover your eyes. These people shouldn't be nude."
That's what they're upset
it's
about.
It's only fair because, down here we have an older population to begin with, and their eyesight's not good. So they would have to get real close to see some of these specimens.
Hey, that's all the time we have for this week's episode. Thank you very much for joining us. This is the first episode of Season 8, and what a way to kick off a brand new season with Dr. Joe Daturi. Thank you very much for joining us, Doctor. We will check in with him.
Yeah, more great guests to come as well.
Yeah.
So listen, guys, tell a friend. Tell everybody about the show because, again, we're in 65, Nick?
68 countries and almost
68 countries around the world, folks. This little show started off 4 years ago, and now it's all over the place. We're like
nudists at that beach with no sign. I'm Nick.
And I'm Roy.
Thanks very much for listening.
Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy is a production of nickandroy.com. Visit nickandroy.com to access the full library of episodes or wherever you get your podcasts.